Hi there guys, here is Cat Diving with a new guide from Diablo 3 series. How are you today? I am so happy because I'm going to make a new kind of guide. By that I mean a two-player guide. What is that, you may ask? Okay, I will explain you. I am going to take you step by step, presenting you my build for the two-player grifts. For this build, for this guide, sorry, I'm going to present you the monk and the wizard. As you may saw from leaderboards, this combination is one of the best now, since patch 2.4. I tried to change a bit the monk's build because I wanted to be not only the health globe bringer, to say like that, but to be a part of this game. So I've decided to lower my my toughness and not to be a tank and to do a little bit of damage but also help my partner. Um, I tried a new kind of build. I am quite curious if you want to try it or you have tried. And please give me your opinion about it. Let me talk about a bit about this guide, and then we'll go into the depth of monk. Okay, in this first part I'm going to present you the monk, everything you have to know about it, the gear, the set, everything. And then the same thing, I'll go on a wizard, not mine because I do not have a good one, but my friend's John, which is a great player, and you'll find his and mine Battle.net account in the description. I will be presenting you some footages from a greater rift so you can see what I mean. Okay, so let's start the monk guide. For this build to work, you need the INA set. I will try to explain a bit this set because some parts might be very confusing for some of you guys, especially the ones who just started Diablo 3. If you have two pieces of this set, increase the passive effect of your mystic ally and the base passive effect of your mantra by 100%. The first part, the passive effect of your mystic ally, is easy, but the base passive effect of your mantra might be confusing. Why? Because you must know that the base passive of a mantra is the mantra without a rune. So it's you and your allies within 60 yards gain 20% increase resist to all elements. This is the base passive of a mantra, not the rune. So basically this set does not double the rune, but only the mantra without a rune. Okay, those things had to be said in order to clarify. Okay, next to bonuses are quite easy for you to understand, so I'm not going to lose any more time here. For the hands, you must have dex, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and cooldown. Why cooldown? Because it's very hard here to choose between cooldown reduction and area damage after patch 2.4. But because you rely on a 30 seconds cooldown spell, you should try and increase your cooldown reduction. On head, you should have dex with critical hit chance, and as a monk, you should pay a close attention to secondary, because some, I do not know what, in my case 202 cold resistant is very important, because one of the passives, which I'll be talking in a short time. Okay, in a set, in a chest, Dex with resist to all elements, waste, Dex with resist to all elements, regenerate life per second, legs, Dex with regenerate life per second. So basically, as you saw, I am doing some mixture between damage and toughness. You're going to need the Diablo, which is changed since patch 2.4, so you should definitely find a new one if you don't have already one. Why I'm saying this? Because this is my old Diablo, and as you can see, increases mystic ally damage by 30%, and in this case it's increased the mystic ally damage by 114%, which is a lot, and by a lot I mean a lot damage, and you will see it very, very easy with your eyes. So change it. As for shoulders, you will need these shoulders. Sorry guys, I'm not going to pronounce that name, it's impossible for me. I tried many times. They changed, they added a new secondary here. Cyclone Strike reduces your damage taken by 47% for 5 seconds. As boots, you need the crudest boots, because Mystic Ally summons 2 Mystic Allies that fight by your side. Why these boots are very important? Well, because of Ina, of course. Why? You see, gain 5 ruined Mystic Allies at all times, and your damage is increased by 50% for each Mystic Ally you have out. Using these boots, okay, from Ina you have 5 allies. Using these boots you gain 10 Mystic Allies. 10 Mystic Allies, multiply by 50% and see how much you gain increased damage if you use those boots. As wrist, I'm using legendary spirit guards, because they give me some toughness, very much needed in this kind of rifts. I'm using focus and restraint, both with dex, critical hit gem damage and critical hit chance. And as amulet, I'm using immunity 1. Currently I'm using the poison one. I do enjoy this immunity amulet more than hellfire amulet, because it can save my ass in many occasions. You could use the endless walk set, but in this build you will be using a lot of one of your primary and a spender, so it's not so much difference between this. And also you can have an immunity amulet, and as I said before, is very important for you guys. Okay, let's talk about skills. I'm using crippling wave with breaking wave rune, because enemies hit by this spell take 10% additional damage from all attacks for 3 seconds, and this is a very helpful spell. Cyclone Strike Implosion increases the distance enemies will be pulled towards you. Basically, as you will see from the gameplay, you will have one important role: to stay in warp time, a spell made by the wizard, and from there you should pull all the enemies inside. By doing that, your toughness will be increased because of the new shoulders. And then you will hit as much as you can, but you should remember that you're not the primary DPS in this game, in this build. Okay, you should use, and you must use, sorry, Mystic Ally. I do not have any specific rune that I should recommend you or I force you. You could use any rune you want. I personally prefer Water Ally. It's your choice. I could suggest you, if you force me to do that with a gun at my head, a Water Ally, Fire Ally, or Air Ally. Whichever suits you better. For some toughness, I'm using Mantra of Salvation with Agility rune, which gives me increased dodge chance. Dashing Strike with Blinding Speed, because by doing that I get 40 increased chance to dodge. And as you will see from toughness, 40 increased toughness is quite a lot. And using Cyclone Strike, it will be a lot of toughness for us. Okay, and another saving spell, I'm using Serenity with Ascension, which basically increases the duration of Serenity. Because of the higher Greater Rift, you'll be forced to fight, but in some moments you'll be forced to leave the fight. Why? Because the damage is very high to sustain, and it will be basically impossible to stay in frozen, in arcane orbs, in all the affixes. So basically what you have to do is to spam Water Ally. This also knocks them down, the enemies, and then hit, wait for the cooldown, and when the situation goes very hot, you should use Serenity. Okay. As passive, Unity, because each ally affected by your mantras increase your damage by 5% up to a maximum of 20%, and has a 5 increase in damage. So it's quite obvious why I'm using this passive. Sixth Sense, because it reduces all non-physical damage by 25%. Harmony, 40% of your single element resist from items instead increases your resist to all elements. This is why I told you guys to watch your secondary in your set, because 40% of that single element instead increases your resist to all elements. It's quite a great passive for Monk, and Beacon of Ita reduces the cooldowns of all skills by 20%. Okay, so as Paragon points, you should use as much as you need in movement speed and everything, the rest in dex. Here you should start with cooldown reduction, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and attack speed. Resist to all, armor, life regeneration. Here, area damage, cost reduction, life on hit, and gold find. Everything is pretty standard. Here, nothing new. As gems, you should use historic alteration, because you gain non-physical damage reduction, and again is very important in high Greater Rift. I'm using Enforcer because it increases the damage of my pets by some percent, and my Mystic Ally is considered to be my pet, and of course Bane of Trap. Here you could use Bane of Stricken instead, or why not Molten Gem for some regenerate life per second. One more detail, guys, you should notice is that in all sockets, I'm using resist to all elements. By that I mean the blue whitish gem. In cube, I'm using the flying dragon with chance to double your attack speed when attacking. I'm pretty sure you know this weapon. It's quite a VIP. These new bracers are new in patch 2.4 and I recommend you to find them if you don't have already them. Bindings of Lesser Gods. Enemies hit by your Cyclone Strike take 20% more damage from your Mystic ally for 5 seconds. And in the end, I find it very useful, Obsidian Ring of Zodiac, which I'm sure you know, it reduces the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit a resource pending attack. Sorry. So I will let you now. I'm going to explain you the Wiz build. So be right back. Okay, now let's talk about the Wiz. As I said before, I do not have a competitive Wiz, so I'm not going to use mine. So thank you, John, for letting me use yours. Okay, for this build to work, you need the full set of Delsere. I'm not going to explain what this set does, because it's self-explanatory, but instead I will take each piece and show you the desired stats. So, for the hands, you want to have intelligence, hit damage, hit chance, and area damage. For shoulders, intelligence, feet, armor, and again area damage. If you have by default area damage, you can try to change armor with reduced cost reduction if you want to be a little bit more powerful. On the helm, you should have intelligence, wit, and critical hit chance. Chest, intelligence, wit, resist to all elements, and a secondary, as you can see here, you can have reduced damage from melee and range attacks. For more toughness, of course. Pants, you should have intelligence, wit, armor, and feet, intelligence, wit, armor, and of course increase energy twister damage by some amount. 15 is maximum. Okay, as weapons you must have the twisted sword, which increases your energy twister damage by 150% for each energy twister you have out. As a source, I recommend you to use Etched Sigil, because it works perfect with this combination for build. As you can see, your Arcane Torrent, Disintegrate, and Ray of Frost also cast one of your other damaging arcane power spenders every second. Okay, for the rings, I'm using the Endless Walk with the Compass Rose. I have intelligence, wit, critical hit damage, critical hit chance. The ideal build would be intelligence, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and area damage if you want, but this is a tough combination to have. Amulet, quite simple, intelligence, critical hit damage, critical hit chance. And the other ring, you should use Halo of Erlis, because you get that because your ice armor now reduces damage from melee attacks by 53%, and automatically cast Frost Nova whenever you take 10% of your life in damage. Okay, as waist I'm using Hairbrush Binding, because it reduces the arcane power cost of Arcane Torrent, Disintegrate, and Rays of Frost, which is very nice, and so I can cast it more frequently. And the classics for wrist using ancient person defender. Okay, as skills you should use energy twister with ranging storm because it is arcane. This rune is arcane, and you'll see in a minute why. You should use disintegrate with intensify, and this rune says that enemies hit by disintegrate take 50% increased damage from arcane for 4 seconds. This is why I said before you need energy twister with ranging storm rune, because it's also arcane. You can also use wicked wind. It is an interesting choice, but not the best one. You can try to see if it fits to you. Slow time with exhaustion again. Enemies caught by slow time deal 20% less damage, which is great for your survivability. Teleport, safe passages, because it increases your toughness. If you want, you could use wormhole if you are going on lower grifts. Magic weapon with deflection because it's going to give you a shield. Ice armor with crystallize. You need this ice armor in order to your ring to work. Okay, as passive you should use blur because it decreases your damage taken. Audacity, you deal 30% additional damage to enemies within 15 yards, and as you will see in the gameplay, you'll be in the middle of the fight. Okay, you should use illusionist because when you take more than 50% of your maximum life in damage, the cooldown of teleport and slow time. Okay, you can see mirror image, but mirror image is not in this build. Slow time and teleport are reset, and unstable anomaly because every 60 seconds you have the chance to come back and do not die. Okay, as Paragon points, I spend them as much as you need in movement speed. I need 25%, and all the rest on intelligence. Here you should start with critical hit chance, critical hit damage, attack speed, and cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is not so mandatory because of that passive, which is your cooldown. Okay, resist to all, armor, life, and life regeneration. Here, area damage, resource cost reduction, life on hit, and gold find, as you want. As gems, I'm using historic alteration for that non-physical damage reduction. Bane of Stricken, which is incredible useful against elites and risk guardians, and Bane of Trapped. In Kanai Cube, I use the Furnace, which increases the damage against elites by 50%. Mantle of Channeling. This is a new piece of equipment that came with patch 2.4. While channeling some spells from many classes, here disintegrate or ray of frost, you deal 20% increased damage and take 20% reduced damage. As for the ring, you should use convention of elements. Okay, this is our combination. You should try it to see yourself. And in order to go higher and higher, don't forget to play, and as I said before, you should have a lot of luck in order to get the good mobs and the good map, because otherwise it is basically impossible to reach the higher grifts. And of course, before the boss, the Rift Guardian, I mean, a pylon, a power pylon, or a conduit pylon, what you want. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please like it or subscribe, and if you want to talk, share opinions or anything else, follow me on Twitter. Okay guys, so thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to play. See ya!
return. I will return. Not yet recharged.